Well, to you, the valued racing fan, I trust that you're well. You're having a fair week, and welcome to the Gallop TV Preview Show for Saturday at Turffontein. It is a big weekend when it comes to local racing, a double header on Saturday at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, racing alongside Hollywoodbets Turffontein, and we end off at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Sunday. Well, the operator has done the job with regards to enticing you, the punter, to get involved in the Pick Six with a sweetener of 1 million rand. That estimated pool will be 6 million rand. As we welcome Alistair Cohen to the show. And news just coming in, Alistair, as we say hello to you, of the passing of a man that we've come to know as the Oracle, Matthew the Oracle Lips. And it's a sad day, isn't it? We record the show early on a Friday morning for the weekend, and yeah, it is sad to just lose that wealth of information and knowledge, and a man that was a servant to the game for many, many years.
Yeah, good morning, Dave, and good morning to all the viewers. Obviously, a bit of a somber note to start. Magic Lips is passing. Hit quite hard, to be honest. I last saw him at the KZN sales on Hollywoodbets Durban July week, and got chatting to him. When I was in school, during school holidays, I used to work in the winning form offices and rub shoulders with Magic Lips and Monty, who's now Samanga Kamalo's agent, and Kabelo Matsanyani's agent, and learned a hell of a lot. So it became cliche, but I remember going home to my parents saying, this man's unbelievable. He can tell me who won at Bloemfontein on the 18th of March 1994. Give me all the winners, all the jockeys, the trainers, the breeding, a walking encyclopedia, a wealth of knowledge. Obviously took a step out of the winning form office and became an employee of the NHA, being a handicapper and occasional member of the stipendiary board when someone went on leave. And, gaps like that aren't plugged easily. So to his family, condolences, and Magic Lips will sorely be missed. And as you mentioned, as Paul Lafferty always used to say in the previews, that's the Oracle.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about how I'd sum Matthew Lips up, and there was only one way I thought of, Alistair. If I was playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and for a horse racing question had to come up, he will be my phone a friend, wouldn't he?
Oh, absolutely, and he wouldn't even go with the answer. He'd know exactly which avenue to go down. A wealth of knowledge. There was nothing that you couldn't fall back on Matthew Lips for when it came to racing, and a whole lot music, movies. It wasn't just a racing man through and through. Very, very clever man. And also, he was the man behind the Hollywood Syndicate at its inception. All the horses and training that he bought for the Hollywood Syndicate roughly 15 years ago, with Baron Burtis being the first trainer, Barry Steenkamp in Port Elizabeth as well. Magic got the ball rolling for Owen and the team.
Yeah, condolences to his family. Race number 1, Alistair, on what is a big weekend, as I mentioned, will begin at 12 o'clock at Turffontein. And it's a maiden plate for 3-year-olds with 9 races carded. It doesn't form part of the exotic. It's over 1,450 meters. Let's go through the betting here and see if you can get us off to a flyer. Number 1 is at 9-2. Number 2 is at 5-1. There is money. Hollywoodbets early betting support for number 7. That's from 18-10, shortened into 14-10. And then it is double figures, the balance. I must admit that, when I looked at this horse, number 7, the Green Garnet, the one slight concern I had was the layoff and fitness-wise, but we know that the Cockyard, will have them ready. But this is the type of race where, I can't go for a punt on the head unless you really like this horse, number 7, the Green Garnet.
I'm going to recommend a punt on the head here, Dees, for a number of reasons. I know that Mike de Kock holds this horse in high regard, number 7, Green Garnet. He should have won his first start. He stayed on very strongly. He was probably left with too much to do from the back of the field. The extra distance will suit. I think the time off will do him a world of good. JP van der Merwe takes her out. I believe his work has been very good, number 7, Green Garnet. The money on him obviously suggests that someone fancies him. It's a hot maiden, so I get the sense of trepidation around number 7, Green Garnet. But to add to the ammunition with number 7, Green Garnet, working at the Val on Thursday, I saw all of De Kock's horses with a spark that I haven't seen for a few months. Start of the season, so obviously African horse sickness inoculations, lay off them, no grass at Turffontein. That'll be opening up, I think, in a week from now. I know that De Kock galloped quite a few horses at Turffontein about a week ago, Green Garnet being one of them, some big horses as well in his yard. There's a noticeable, not that the horses looked off colour, but, you know, De Kock haven't fired like De Kock can do. But what I saw from his old Mark Kears being a case in point, when I saw him walk into the ring on Thursday, I said on air that this horse was going to improve hand over fist and be a big chance. He ran his best race in third and will win soon. Every single one of those horses looked the part, and in the condition that they are in, and a clear turnaround in form and starting to hit the straps, number 7 Green Garnet, I think, will take all the beating. Respect for number 1 Just Nuisance. I think number 2 Copper Mist ran in a weaker field last time out, so quartet chance for him. Jury's out, might just need the run, but his work has come on a long way, so although I don't expect him to win, he'll go close soon enough, number 4 Jury's out, so if he does stay on and sort of finish midfield, he'll be perfectly teed up next time. I have respect for number 8 Ryan's Boulevard with blinkers on for the first time, but he finished behind Just Nuisance in the King's Ransom run, so that might hold. Dunny Players, very well bred, relates to Eden Rock. The mare's a sister to Eden Rock. 20 Druckwitz improved last time out, but number 7 Green Garnet, I think, has less vulnerabilities, less questions to answer, and I think he's the way to start in race 1.
Okay, that is it. That's what I like. Some confidence coming through with number 7, the Green Garnet, in race number 1. And I like the way Mr. Pandaram, Manu is his name, names his horses. Thani Player, that will have a few followers on just the name there. In race.
Are you good at Thani?
Well, you know what? We love the game, and I always have this argument with guys when we play Thani. It's as much as it is a game of skill, but it all depends on the cards that you dealt. At the end of the day, if you have the good cards and you have the trump in your hand, you are going to be winning games. But yeah, it is a game that is played in many households around the country, and it is one of the most popular games amongst the Indian community. Yep, Thani, Manu Pandaram has attracted a few guys to have a go on this horse, number 9. Race number 2 starts off the place accumulator over 1,450 meters for 3-year-old fillies. It is the start of the Barpot, apologies, with 9 races carded. The place accumulator begins in race number 3. The betting here, number 1 at 13-10, and number 8, Gimme Another at even money. Bookmakers taking no chances with this well-bred daughter of Gimme the Green Light. Of course, we know the mother well. We know the half-sister very well, called Sharapova, she being by Karari, this filly being by Gimme the Green Light, and they got that horse at even money. Unless you know something about the horse, but we'll have to wait for possibly race day comments coming through from the course on 8, Gimme Another, Alistair, even money.
Yeah, you know what, Dees, we'll get the official comments from Mike De Kock on his Twitter page on race day. He's normally very good with disseminating the information a couple of hours before the race meeting. So for those that are ex or former Twitter users, you'll be able to get onto Mike's website and see what he thinks. I'll take a stab and say that Gimme Another will be very hard to beat, only because majority of the family are champions. There are very few average horses from the family. Even if she's not a champion and just above average, she should beat this field. I mean, the horse with the best form is easily number 1, Elysia's Love, who's been beaten by Wilkie. Wilkie's took an eternity to win. I don't think she's... and there's not too much else to get excited about here, Dees. I mean, number 2, One Religion, there's always money for one. Well, 2 of the 3 starts has been money for One Religion. Hasn't really delivered. I don't think her form is as strong as number 1, Elysia's Love. Crimson Forest has been disappointing. Azimuth's done nothing. Darling Harbour's got a quartet chance trying this distance for the first time. Gimme Another's got a leg in every corner. She'll be hard to beat.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Going in blind at the recording of the show with 8, Gimme Another. Wait for race day comments, but even money says it all. Race number 3, start of the place accumulator, start of the features, Bloodstock SA Sales Cup for fillies. And you need to get that place accumulator bet on by 1300 hours. Interesting. 1, Mrs. Geriatrics, 5 to 10. 2, Francine at 8 to 1. And then it is 10 to 1 and better the balance. All those wonderful memories that this Nippy, I use the word Nippy, filly gave us because she's that tiny, but she's got the legs and the will and the heart to just run. Number 1, Mrs. Geriatrics. 5 to 10 tells the story, Alistair.
It does. He's on paper rated 112 of level weights. The next best rated horse is a 101. So I think that puts everything into perspective. There are a few noticeable things that are there for punters to have a look at. Number 1, Sean Terry entered Mrs. Geriatrics, I think, in 4 races on this card. And chose this one, which probably would have been the easiest pickings for a nice valuable stake of 180,000 rand for a win. Richard Ferry could have ridden at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. He's taken the trip up to Turffontein, I'd assume, with this being his main ride on the card. And then, the obvious disclaimer is that Sean Terry's yard has been a little bit flat at the start of the season, but it always is. It takes a few months to get going. When the grass opens at Reinke's, all of a sudden the floodgates start opening up. So that's a slight concern. But as far as the 2-year-old filly division went last season, she was without Pierre. The Equus Award was the most straightforward task for the panel, I believe, going into it. Mrs. Geriatrics proved herself. She got such a following, and it would be great to see her start her 3-year-old campaign as everyone expects her to. She's 5 to 10. She's a PA banker. I think her only danger would be herself if she's not fit enough, and dare I say, not trained on. But I suspect that she would train on. I mean, it hasn't been too long since her last graded victory on Hollywoodbets Durbanville, less than 100 days. She's draw 1. Everything's in her favour here, Dees. If she went missing, there'd be serious questions being asked.
Just an observation. You can look it up. It is a fact. Number 2, Francine. I just looked at times, and it's not an exact science because it's the way the races are run, but Francine's time, last time out, when running 4th to Sandringham Summit, was 96.96. And the winner's time of the Tikweni Stakes by Bavarian Beauty was 97.96, a second slower. I wonder if the Aussies decided to go for, the Tikweni instead of the Premier's Champion Stakes. Would that have been a different result? Because I found those times very interesting on the day. Yeah, the races were wide apart. One was early and the other was quite late. I think the Tikweni is now the Dougie White Stakes, if I'm not mistaken. Dougie White Tikweni Stakes. But I found that very interesting with regards to times with number 2, Francine. But we all agree that she is an absolute superstar on what she's shown to date, number 1, Mrs. Geriatrics. And this is where she'll start off her engine as a 3-year-old. So, banker in everything, number 1, Mrs. Geriatrics. Do we have a banker in this carryover pick 6 in leg number 1? Alistair Cohen is going to tell us a bit more. You need to get your pick 6 on by 13:35. It is a pick 6 carryover of R1 million. Estimated pool. Well, we're racing alongside Hollywoodbets Durbanville, so you, the valued racing fan, is spoiled for choice. Hopefully we get to that estimate of 6 million. Betting, Alistair, number 1, 9 to 10. Number 2, 3 to 1. Then name your price with the balance. It is clear that on that last start, purely on that Golden Horseshoe run, that Give Me Another Chance finished in front of number 2, Guy Gibson. The handicapper has noticed that, has rated them 3 pounds apart, or 1.5 kgs. But this horse, Give Me Another Chance, when speaking to Mike and Keegan DeMello, they both were of the opinion, as a young horse, he can only get better and stronger and improve as he gets older. Well, I'm sure the same can be said for all these other horses, but that just stuck in my mind when he raced as a young horse.
I remember his first appearance at Hollywoodbets Greyville in the Gate Crasher Stakes, Dees, and we were working together, and I didn't expect him to be that wet behind the ears, that green, look that inexperienced, look that soft. There are not many de Kock horses that arrive at a race course not looking to battle hard. And so the overriding feeling among all of us was this horse is a year old. look, it's easy to say he was undone by a bad draw in the Golden Horseshoe on Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I'd venture to say he was undone by a better horse by Sandringham Summit, who's a freakish talent. But 200 metres out, give me another chance at the race at his mercy, and he was outrun by a horse who followed up and won a Grade 1. My suggested bet on this card is a pick 6, because whenever there's a carryover, I believe I've got to give the punters an opportunity to catch and win the most possible money. And when I was looking at the rest of the card, I don't see too many bankers, because this race meeting is traditionally a meeting where big horses prep. So even though, give me another chance, Guy Gibson, and they are the quality horses in this race, to be fair, the most proven horses in this race, to be fair, we'll probably be looking at the Grand Big Stakes and the Johnson Workwear Dingons in a month and 2 months from now. Are the best horses in the race. And as you mentioned, give me another chance. Beat Guy Gibson last time. Guy Gibson probably had a bit more of an easier task from a draw and was easier to place, and had Crystal Simeon on board. Plus Magnus Yard is also a little bit flat at the moment. It all points number 1. Give me another chance, Dees. I think he'll be a tough nut to crack.
I agree. Race number 1, in or out in this massive pick 6. Number 1, give me another chance. Race number 5, this is Jackpot 1. It's the Betway Joburg Spring Fillies and Mares Challenge. It's a Group 2, 1,400 and 50 meters a trip, and there is some high quality to speak about here. And I think the form is all over the place. The best way to call them, use it if you may, but I think that just makes it even more trickier when you go into the best weighted column and start dissecting the weights, etc. Number 1, Humdinger, 5-1. 2, give me a shot at 7-1. Number 3 is now a Betway Summer Cup entry. Number 3, none under, at 7-1. Then we got Feather Boa. There's some money here, Alistair. Not a heap, a truckload of money, but money. 7-2 into 3-1, Hollywoodbets. 9, Captain Peg, 11-2, and 11 at 7-1. Stuart Pettigrew, does he hold the aces to this race or more open?
I think that he expects to hold the aces in this race, Dees. There's been a few whispers coming out of the team at Ryankeesfontein that Pettigrew's confident about this race, but I don't think it's a one-way street. The reason why, I think Feather Boa deserves the money on her. I think she deserves to be near the top of the board. She's a near league girl. She's not won a black top feature for what it's worth as Feather Boa, because she's just not quite got it across the line at the highest level. But all her runs suggest that she is popping, ready to go. Gavin Larena takes her on. I think if you eliminate Princess Caller's victory in the Ridgemont Garden Province Stakes, Feather Boa was actually the run of the race. From the deepest draw, left with a lot to do. She made up a lot of ground. And I think she was 2 lengths behind the second place horse, Desert Miracle. That was a huge run. She was obviously just behind Humdinger, who she reopposes. By the way, Humdinger won this race last year. On the Ridgemont Garden Province, Humdinger just has a narrow margin over number 8, Feather Boa, but I think had there been more luck in running, Feather Boa probably goes right next to Humdinger. So interesting dynamics at play. Again, whose cup final is it? Number 2, Give Me a Shot, is a very good filly. I would not let her run loose having her seasonal debut, because she was right next to Feather Boa. I've also got number 4, Lady of Power, in, because she, of course, is a Grade 2 winner over 1,600 metres. She could also come out fresh. She had a pretty hard 3-year-old campaign after she won the Wildebeest Drift, so that Gauteng Fillies Guinea. So she's got a degree of ability. 8, Feather Boa, we've mentioned. 9, Captain Peg, unbeaten on the inside track. I don't for one moment think she's better than Feather Boa, but I think if she ever is going to be, it will be on the inside track. And then I've also put in the 3-year-old, number 13, Just Be Lacquer, because this race traditionally favours 3-year-olds. There have been a lot of good 3-year-olds that have won this race off a lightweight. They come in here, take advantage of the conditions of the race, and Just Be Lacquer's work is out of the top draw. Whether it's good enough to turn over these horses, I don't know. Draw 1's a big advantage. Sunday Pauli's done a lot of work on her over the last couple of weeks. Expecting her to go right in there, number 13, Just Be Lacquer. So a few numbers for me. There are a few numbers for me, sadly, in the rest of the races, but I think you have to go wide to try and catch this big pool.
Yeah, it may be the case here, but the one observation I made here, Alistair, and maybe Computer Form could have a look at this, because that's the form guide I'm using. Course 4 from 4, distance 4 from 4, course plus distance should equal course and distance, but that's 3 from 3. And Alistair's just mentioned she's won on the inside track 3 times and won on the outside track once. So that is why it is 3 from 3. But Alistair did mention that Stuart Pettigrew does have a strong hand, but he's making it a bit more open than it looks. Race number 5. Race 6, the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge, 1,450 meters. It's a Group 2. Yeah, there's some quality here. This is some quality in this field. Number 2, William Robertson is one of the runners that I think will keep many interested. But let me give you the betting first. Number 3, single figures this is. Number 3 is at 8 to 1. Number 7 is at 5 to 1. 8 at 6 to 1. Then we go on to, that is it. 33 to 10 into 28 to 10. How can I leave out the 3-year-old? Main Defender is the money horse on Hollywood Bets. 33 to 10 into 28 to 10. Yeah, this is a bold statement by Tony Peter, because, you know, he could have chosen a number of races from the program on where he wants to start this horse off as a 3-year-old, and he's chosen this race. Alistair?
I think he proved his ability at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day in the Premier's Champion Stakes D's when he ran second to Sandringham Summit. Sandringham Summit proving himself as the champion 2-year-old colt, and Main Defender taking a huge step forward, following up on his victory on Hollywoodbets Durbanville when beating Jerusalem Rain, looking the goods, and then finishing second to Sandringham Summit, obviously at Grade 1 level. As I said, these 2 races traditionally favour 3-year-olds, or there's a good history for 3-year-olds. And, Main Defender, off the top of my head, would be right up there as, obviously Sandringham Summit, Lucky Lad, worth a few more chances. But Main Defender's shown that he's not too far behind them. And if there are any vulnerabilities, if he is ready, and if the weight does speak in his favour, the number 13 Main Defender is a huge chance here. Cabello Mazzaniani takes it right for Tony Peter, and I do like his chance, but the rate certainly doesn't stop there. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 7, and 13 in my play. Number 2, William Robertson won this race last year, perhaps a tad controversially. The replacement rider at the start, and they wanted to scratch him at the start, but he still came out on top, beating after the rain. This is probably a sweet spot distance-wise, probably a sweet spot course-wise. His prep run was fair behind Captain Peg. He'll come on with that run out of the Balpier Stratum, takes the ride. 3 Big Bro had a wonderful prep last time in a Pinnacle Stakes. He caught the eye, finishing in front of William Robertson, third to Captain Peg. His main mission will again be the Allard Steel Road on a mission mile at the end of the month, but he's definitely on track. 4 MK's Pride is worth another chance. He couldn't get to the lead over 1,200 metres last time out, but over 1,450, if he is able to get to the front from a deep draw, that's obviously the concern. But if he can get to the front, he's always dangerous. And then number 7, Dave the King, will probably be the competition for the lead, draw next to MK's Pride. So there's an interesting dynamic. Again, 1450 with his style of running, he could be very dangerous as well. I mean, his KZN season was so refreshing with the 4 performances, running close up in Grade 1 races. There's a lot to like about number 7, Dave the King, this season. I believe his main target will be the Lombard King's Plate at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth at the start of the year. No mention of 8 Thunderstruck from you? Thunderstruck, I think, over 1450 might have vulnerabilities, D's. He's not been this trip before. He's been 1400 before, and obviously a mile. He's not quite the same horse, I believe. Although he hit his straps towards the end of last season, I would prefer him in a sprint, to be honest. But coming out fresh, not impossible. He does something. He's got Fury on board, but I think they just stretch him a little bit over more than 1,200.
Well, we'll see where these young horses stand against the older horses, with Main Defender being a major factor as a juvenile. And he takes on some hard knockers here. Our race that I'm really looking forward to, race number 6. Race number 7, it's a Pinnacle Stakes over 1,000 meters at the time of recording. Number 1 at 13 to 2, 2 at 3 to 1, 3 at 9 to 2, 4 at 12 to 1, 5 at 5 to 1, 7 at 13 to 2, 8 at 13 to 2, 9 at 4 to 1, Yeah, just looking at this race, wow, they're going to go quick. The speed is going to be on here. And we got a few of the fairer sex taking on the boys. And all of them are quick. 3, Colfax, 7, Ipico, and 9, Moon Shining Through. It looks like a very difficult race, Alistair. Number 6 is a scratching at the time of recording. You know, I failed to narrow it down with my rules, so it's the field for me.
I've got less in the field. Well, now with the scratching, I've actually got half the field, and I'm going to sit on the edge there. You make mention of the most key aspect in this race, Dees, and that's the fillies and mares with the conditions of the race and the advantage that they've got according to the weights and the structure of the race. And that does give them a huge leg up. So 2, 3, 7, and 9 are my numbers. Sheldon, the colt that I've got it. 3 Colfax, 7 Ipico, and 9 Moon Shining Through are my numbers here. So Sheldon is a trier. He punches above his weight. He's actually done wonders for the connections because they obviously purchased him from Dean Caname on the back of a promising start to his career. And you can tell by his numbers, his profile, his performances, and he's just a likable horse. And whatever you throw at him, he tends to do the business and run his races. So although he's got his back against the wall, according to the official handicapper, number 2 Sheldon again is likely to run above himself. 3 Colfax being off since Hollywoodbets Durbanville, but over 1,000 meters, she's deadly. Dennis Schwartz takes her out for Tony Peter. If she doesn't need the run too badly, she'll be a big player. Her record fresh is very pleasing as well. Number 3 Colfax, she of course won the Camellia Stakes on Champions Day to prove her feature race credentials. Number 7 Ipico is blisteringly quick, and on a quick track with a light weight, and with the conditions of the race, she could be very dangerous as well. And number 9 Moon Shining Through, it looks like they got her head right. An interesting Muzi Yerni engagement with Johan Janssen van Vuren. That's a combination you don't see often at all. So that makes me think that number 9 Moon Shining Through is probably a little bit of value for money in the race. So I've got the 4 horses for me. I'm comfortable with those 4, and with a push from you, I might be forced to go field, but I'm comfortable here, Dees.
Yep, as Alistair mentioned, he kept mentioning the weights. The best weighted column, topped by the 3 mares, 7 Ipico, 9 Moon Shining Through, and 3 Colfax. We move along to race number 8. It is the penultimate race on the card. It's over 1,600 meters. Fillies and mares 80 handicap. It is a C division class. How they're betting: 1 28 to 10, 2 4 to 1, 3 at 6 to 1, 4 at 9 to 2, 5 at 11 to 2, 7 at 7 to 1, and then it is double figures the balance. Well, I must compliment you, and we went along with this last time out. Unbelievably, Queen Bomi was priced up at 12 to 1. We both liked it when we did the show last time out. She did attract betting support, but still generous odds at around 8.5 to 1. She won a good race, Alistair. That was well found.
Thank you, Dees, and it was long overdue from Queen Bomi, but now she takes on these progressive 3-year-olds and the informed Cianenemy. So, the handicapper only gave her a penalty to the tune of £3, and she comes in here perfectly weighted off a net 80 in this Fillies and Mares 80 handicap. So she's not under sufferance like 8 and 9 Mama Quera and Little Miss Sunshine. But I think that the improving 3-year-olds might have the edge, even though 2 of them are probably just a run short of where they need to be. So my pick 6 numbers here are 1, 2, 4, and 5. The fitness edge is with number 5, Duenna. It might have been a little bit disappointing that she got rolled by Queen Bomi last time out, but according to the weight turnaround, Queen Bomi's down 1.5, and Duenna's down 2.5, and there was 3 parts of a length between them. I think Duenna will turn that form around here with Queen Bomi, and the extra run under the belt for the 3-year-old, I think will do her a world of good. So the fitness edge, according to the 3-year-olds, is with number 5, Duenna. So that makes me believe she'll run nicely. Number 2, Let's Go Now, is Grade 1 performed. Obviously didn't rip up any trees in the Douglas White Tigweni Stakes, but she's worth another chance back home with Richard Furry on board. She's a full sister to Bless My Stars, who obviously won a Grade 1 as a 3-year-old. So you can expect number 2, Let's Go Now, to develop and go better as the season goes on. And number 4, My Soulmate, she's probably about 75% ready, but she's feature race quality. Her last win She beat Silver Hunt, who came out and franked the form. She'll be better on the Turffontein stand-side track. She'll be better when she goes 1,800 metres. There's a long-term 6-month plan with number 4, My Soulmate. But her work is very, very good. Muzi Yeni phoned for the ride and likes what he feels with number 4, My Soulmate. So I can't put anyone off. She's a big runner, and they are obviously fresh from a double on Thursday. And number 1, Seeing Enemies in good form. You know, she went close enough to On the Horizon, the very well handicapped On the Horizon. She had to give a lot of weight away. But draw 1's going to be an advantage for number 1, Seeing Enemy, and she looks to turn the corner this winter, so if she sustains that, I wouldn't let her run loose, even though I'm of the opinion that 3-year-olds are going to dominate the race.
Well, it looks like Alistair is in the camp of the younger horses, but she owes me nothing, and she owes Alistair nothing, but just on her rewarding the show and the price of 12-1, number 7, Queen Bomey, I'm not going to leave her out. I think she is one that I will definitely be including in the pick 6, but maybe the younger horses could be the way to go here. Race number 8. Then we close things off in race number 9, and hopefully everything's going according to plan. It's over 1,800 meters. It is a big pick 6. You get a few results along the way. You are going to drop tickets. You are going to increase that dividend, and hopefully it turns out to be a dividend that is attractive to you. Alistair, you know, when it comes to the pick 6, I mean, before we get to race number 9, are you a gentleman that plays the pick 6 to a value, meaning an amount, or to a percentage, or do you combine the both, or you just wing it when it comes to the pick 6? I'll tell you why, because you know I used to play to a minimum percentage to an amount, meaning that if the pick 6 was 5,000, I always played to 10%, so I was going to play 500. So if the perm exceeds 5,000, I'll always take out horses to get that 10%. But I've changed recently, and I've stuck to an amount and take whatever percentage I get. You know, how do you play it? Do you have a system, or you just wing it?
So my confession here is that my exotic of trace is the bar pot. I love the bar pot, but when it comes to feature race days and pick 6 carryovers, the carrot dangles, the incentive is there to play a pick 6. Now, on a card like this, I'd invariably go percentage route, because playing into a pool of 6 million rand is good and well, but when you get to your Hollywoodbets Durbanville, when you get to your World Sports Betting Cape Met, when you get to your Longmorale Kings Plate, when you get to your Gold Cup Day, and you're playing into pools of in excess of 8 million rand, or of Hollywoodbets Durbanville, 15 million rand plus, you want to try and give yourself the best opportunity to get as much of that pool as possible. So that's where I'll do a little bit of saving and try and take as close to a full unit as I can, and look for a couple more bankers along the way, and load up in a race like the Hollywoodbets Durbanville, which is obviously close to a handicap, and you're entitled to get close finishes, and invariably not a boil over, but maybe like the Conglomerates roughly 6 years ago winning at a big price, or a Power King in 2015, whatever the case may have been. But lately, I think the Hollywoodbets Durbanville has played fair. So my analogy on a pick 6 on this card, especially with the perm that I put together, I will be taking a percentage, but depending on the nature of the card and the amounts in the carryover, or the estimated pool in the carryover, I look to extend and take a full unit when the time is right.
Yeah, I think that is some food for thought. I'll give you one key, you the value racing fan, and it comes with time, and it comes with experience, and if you play the bet, you'll know exactly what I mean. If you can estimate, which is difficult, but you can usually get it right, if you can estimate what you think the pick 6 is going to pay, all you need to do is work out a perm that's much lower. Okay, race number 9, 1,800 meters, merit rated 80 handicap, betting 1 8-1, 2 9-2, number 4 4-1, 5 at 5-1, 6 at 5-1, 7 at 8-1, number 8 at 7-1, and 9 the filly at 6-1. How do we end things off here? The pick 6 is running smoothly. Can we narrow this down with any confidence and say, regardless of what's going to happen here, I am confident that if I'm running in the pick 6 with the numbers that Alistair Cohen has given me, I'm going to catch it?
Well, I think there are a few horses that we can eliminate. So, number one, Positive Attitude. I think coming back from a rest over a distance short of his best, we can eliminate. Number three, Wolf's World. Lost his way badly of late. Rather not Wolf's World. What am I saying here? Wolf's World. I've left Wolf's World out, but sparingly raced so far this year. Better run last time. I think he's got a little bit to find here. Does Wolf's World. I've also left out number 6 on the card, Silvano's Song, because I think he's forgotten how to win. I think he's a bit of a brass. There've been a few times where he's moved up with plenty in hand. Maybe Richard Ferree can make the difference. I think Pettigrew's going to have a good day, but I think he's got better chances throughout the day. And then I've also left out number 9, Woodland Glade, despite a light weight. But beating Sacred Lily at Hollywoodbets Greyville at the start of the season, that wasn't a weak race. So those are the horses I've left out, but I've still got more than half the field here, Dees. So my top choice is number 2, Black Lightning, who won in style last time out over this course and distance. That was on Fabian Habib's birthday, and I think he was perfectly lined up, and no one at the course wanted to know about defeat. He's got a few quirks. He hangs towards the inside, but he's in good heart at the moment. The handicapper gave him quite a hefty penalty, but I think that was deserved. I've got number 4, Mo the Manon, who sadly got a penalty for being a loser last time. I hope that doesn't take the wind out of his sails. Number 5, You Can't Hurry Love, famously ran second to Got the Green Light in the South African Classic as a 3-year-old, and he's showing a few signs of life. His rating went down to a 74, then he turned it around. Dennis Schwarz is on board, so from a once 114 to a 77, I think that puts him into the play. 7, House of Romanov is progressive, and I like what I see from this horse, number 8, Mondial. He's taking a big step up, but he beat House of Romanov last time out, and they meet on identical terms, and he's got a turn of foot, so trying this distance for the first time on the inside track could serve him well. So a few things at play. We got the veteran You Can't Hurry Love, who obviously proved himself as a 3-year-old, and then we got these 2 3-year-olds who have something to prove. So let's see how they stack up. It's one of the more intriguing races on the card, even though it's nowhere near a feature.
Well, I'm very interested to see on what that pick 6 works out to as it comes up on screen. Alistair, you want to go through this pick 6 million rand sweetener carryover to the pool, estimated to reach 6 million rand, and hopefully that estimate does arrive where we race alongside Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Now, the perm is on screen, Alistair.
So you talk about how much the pick 6 is going to pay. I think setting a handicap of about 80,000 rand, I'll go just over that. So that's my analogy on the card, and I think we'll get off to a good start with Give Me Another Chance. So Banker 1, pick 6 starts at 25 to 2. The second leg, I've gone 1 Humdinger, 2 Give Me a Shot, number 4 Lady of Power, 8 Featherboa, 9 Captain Pig, and 13 Just Be Lacquer. But 2, 3, 4, 7, and 13, William Robertson, Bingwa, MK Sprite, Dave the King, and the 3-year-old Main Defender. And even though by then the banker in the first leg has arrived and we haven't seen any huge results by then, I think with an equal spread among tickets on the second and third legs, we'll be knocking people out. Then by 2, 3, 7, and 9, Sheldon, Cold Factor, Pico, and Moonshining through. Race 8, Confidence are getting through there with See an Enemy, number 1, 2 Let's Go Now, 4 My Soulmate, and 5 Duenna. And finally, I've got 5 horses, 2 Black Lightning, 4 Mo the Man, 5 You Can't Hurry Love, 7 House of Romanov, and 8 Mondial. By 4:45 on Saturday afternoon, I think we will be in the pound seat.
Well, it is a very reasonable spend. I say reasonable because if you're playing into a pool that's going to reach that estimate of 6 million and a perm is costing 2,400 rand is what Alistair Cohen's perm is costing, which basically means you need to get 2,400 as a dividend to get your money back. So that is going to far exceed that in this pool if we get close to that estimate. 2,400 meaning 240 rand will cost you will get you 10% of whatever the dividend is. It's been a longish show. We've spoken about lots of things during the course of the show, and hopefully it all turns out to be worthwhile for you, the valued racing fan. And Alistair, well, it's a busy weekend, isn't it? Lots to look forward to, and hopefully things go accordingly at the race meeting that you race alongside, which is Hollywoodbets Durbanville, because we haven't had racing there for, let's call it, 2 weeks now.
Yeah, Yeah, Deez, it's a great Saturday. It's a great day to be a racing fan. I mean, we always know that at the start of the season, August and September are slow months. The rains in Cape Town, the hard going in Joburg, the end of champion season in Durban. I think PE is probably the only place that remains consistent in those quieter months. But once October comes round, once hopefully the rain subside in Cape Town, once the grass turns green, I see you got a feature race in Durban, which is effectively a Fillies Guineas trial with the Beach Beauty Mile on Sunday at Hollywoodbets Greyville. A few horses will potentially be going down to Cape Town to try their luck in the Cape season again, where they were successful last season. October's the month where things really start to happen again on the South African calendar, and hopefully it's a great start. I mean, I'll keep an eye on what's going on at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I was really looking forward to going down last week to calling Charles Dickens and Give Me a Prince in the Hollywoodbets Match'em Stakes, but that is a superb card in Cape Town as well, and racegoers are spoilt on Saturday.
Yeah, and to end things off, Alistair Cohen, it is the Cricket World Cup that's on the go. The Black Caps starting off their campaign in superb style. The defending champions getting an absolute hiding in the first match. What is your pick to win the ICC Cricket World Cup?
I don't have much field. Does anyone? I mean, no one in India knew that the World Cup was starting on Thursday, which was a surprise. My initial instinct was that I like a bit of Pakistan. I think they're going to have a point to prove in India. Those pitches will suit. They've got a very well-balanced bowling attack. They got Babar Azam, who makes hundreds for fun. If he gets a little bit of support at the top order, Pakistan, I think, will be a tough nut to crack. I mean, expectations are that India will go well. They'll go deep. I actually think the Proteas will get to the semi-finals. I don't know if they'll go any further than that. But Pakistan's my early selection. But you have to be impressed with what New Zealand put together against the defending champions in the opening game.
Yeah, that he introduced himself yesterday. Didn't know the guy. Ravindra is his name. What an innings. What an innings. What a pleasure to watch that boy bat yesterday. But thanks to Alistair Cohen. Always valuable information given on the show as we say goodbye to Alistair Cohen. And on behalf of the Gallop TV team, myself, Deez Dynan, hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you on Saturday where we race at Turffontein and Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Alistair Cohen previewing the Pick 6, which is estimated to reach 6 million rand on Saturday. Hopefully that arrives for the show. From myself, Deez Dynan, to you, the valued racing fan. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Kashe.